Hello on Monday. Today, I thought I would talk about you are who you choose to be. Now, maybe sounds a bit ambiguous. The topic actually came to mind when I was thinking about how people can seem to be one way when it suits them and then do a full turnaround. Hi, welcome. Do a full turnaround when it suits them also, when somebody has portrayed themselves in one way, kind, generous, helpful, caring, whatever. Hi, welcome. Yet, on the flip of a switch, they can turn to being someone totally different. Now, we've all witnessed this in somebody else. It's usually easier to see it in somebody else first, all right? Where you've entrusted something to someone, or you've trusted them usually, or helped them, and then they turn around and they become someone totally different. Now, I remember listening to a CD by Dr. Demartini. Now, he's an amazing man. I put it in the description, actually, a small explanation of who he is. A lot of his stuff self-taught. He went through a lot of dramas in his life, and which most great, personal speakers, that sort of people, have come from extremely difficult situations. Now, I was listening to his CD and I'm driving along and I'm like, yeah, that's cool. And, he's a positive person and he's about, making your life better. Let's just say that's coining a term. And he was talking in this CD saying how everybody is everything. Like, you are a Mother Teresa, but you're a murderer. You can be a prostitute, yet you're nice. Yet we encompass all of this inside of us. And at first I thought, I'm no bloody murderer, you whack job. I'm not half of those things. But then when I really thought about it, I thought it wouldn't take much to flip a switch and become someone different. We've all seen movies, right, where someone was just pushed to their limit and then they had to become someone else. Let's say that movie years ago, can't remember the name, she was an airline hostess and for whatever reason, she had to land the plane, all right? She didn't know how to fly. So suddenly this meek, mild girl had to step up to the plate and become something that she wasn't, or she wouldn't consider herself being that way. Now, bear with me. So when push comes to shove, we can take on or assume these other personas, let's say. A mother could be quite content and nice and loving. Hi, Miguel. Yet you get anywhere near her children or you start to screw with her family and you will see a whole other person come out. And it's not who she is all the time. It's simply because she's been pushed. Like, you're not going to see the happy side of her, is what I mean. So, and people in war, and not just people with the uniforms and the guns on. I mean, people that have been caught in war have actually have become someone that they didn't want to be, were not always that way. But say you're a man taking care of your family, protecting your family, and whatever happens, and you have to sit at your house with a gun and shoot people if they come in, because it's your only choice, right? It's either let your family get taken or protect them. So do you know what I mean? Now you're starting to get the idea of how it's in us. Each of us has the potential to be all of these things, all right? You could be a prostitute. How many women have been, put in situations where it is their only income? It is the only way for them to get money. And I don't want to hear any guff about it, because that would have been a personal decision for them. It's not up for opinion or for somebody to judge, right? None of it is. However, that might not be her normal way of being, Yet situations pushed her to a point where she then thought, right, this is what I need to do to survive. Now, all of these people, the majority of these people, once the threat is gone or the problem is overcome, then they go back to the normal state they were in, the normal person. Well, you would probably, after killing someone, I don't think you'd be all that normal, but let's just say. So in understanding this, it shows that each one of us does encompass or have inside of us all of those things, good, bad, the whole lot, right? The whole lot, the whole gamut. From, I don't know, maybe high fire, maybe not psychopathic or sociopathic. I mean, that's a whole other thing, right? They're not normal, they're not regular, they don't think like we do, so it's like a normal, regular person. And you can get like psychopathic people that aren't bent on ruling the planet or killing everybody or wanting to make $1 million, all right? There are people that are psychopathic or sociopathic, and they just have this condition and that's what they live with, but they don't express it in a negative way, okay? So not everyone is the same in that regard. However, if in understanding that we possess or we encompass all of these things inside of us, then really all it is every single day you wake up and you make a choice about what are the qualities in you that best portray who you are, what are your core beliefs, what do you believe in, what is the legacy you may be working towards. You might have kids and you're working towards, their college funds or teaching them to be better people. There's a lot of different examples here. So in understanding that if you're having a bad day, now I've seen this myself. I mean, I think I'm a pretty average person as far as average goes. I like acts of kindness. I'm generous. Pardon me. I'm careful. I'm thoughtful. All of this stuff, and I respect life. Yet, here's an example. I respect life. I'll step over a cockroach on the footpath. Mind you, if it's in my house, I'll kill it. Because in my house, I don't tolerate any of it. I don't want it in, and I tell them, stay out unless you've got a death wish, then come into my house. However, I will step over cockroaches, or I will steer around ants. I will get little beetles or bugs that have come into the house, little ones, not pests and vermin. And we have a bug catcher, like those toys for kids that you can catch bugs, catch them, and I put them outside. However, there are the days when I'm limited on my patience, or I'm naff, or I don't know, I might be just in my cycle to a point where I'm at that, I don't have much tolerance for anything because the hormones are just going nuts. And when the hormones go nuts, when you don't have a tolerance, you seriously don't have a tolerance. It's not, I'm just feeling a bit off for the minute. However, there might be ants in my kitchen that are just driving me nuts, yet I'll get a wet piece of paper towel and scoop them all up and drown them and put them in the bin. Do you know, I mean, that is a small example, but however, example it is, where normally I would let them, or like I said, I don't want certain vermin in my house. Like cockroaches are just dead. I don't want them because they run away and you can't catch them and they're just dirty. Ew. Oh, that's what Buddhists do. Yeah, that is true. That is true. And, I would want to, my aim is to do no harm, have as small a footprint or a negative footprint on the planet and on its people and inhabitants as possible. But today I just want everyone to understand that all of us, you, them, everybody has all of these personalities or these traits. I don't even really know what word to use. And that we ship and change. We're not the same every day, do you know? And we change over the years as well. I mean, priorities change, our understanding of our environment, of people around us, of how systems work changes who we are as we see the world we live in its restrictiveness at times. So when you can see that you're not having such a great day and you actually are showing behaviour of someone that you think, that's not me, you can't just ignore it. you actually have to look at it and go, I'm that person today. As distasteful or as it might seem, you are that person. When I've gone to the shops, the supermarket when I'm tired, and I've seen people there that I know, but I am not in the mood to talk. I do not want to talk. It's got nothing to do with them. It's got everything to do with how I feel. Yet I will absolutely avoid and look away. Even I've noticed myself, even when I've seen them make eye contact with me, I've continued to just keep looking, that flow. And, that's a dismissive person. I don't consider myself a dismissive person. However, given the right circumstances or the right conditions, I can become that person. However, it's not my modus operandi, let's say. It's not how I'm going to be, because it's not my choice to be a rude bitch. End of story. But there will be days that I will fall into that category. And this video is about understanding and accepting responsibility for being that way. It's not bad. You don't have to give yourself lashes or lock yourself away or anything like that. But it's about being responsible and realizing that, yes, you can be a bitch or an asshole or a twat or impatient or whatever. But the pretending that you're not, that's where the problem lies. Because lots of people have really poor behaviour. They slip in and out. And when they have poor behaviour, all they're doing is focusing on them being a nice person. Oh, but I'm such a nice person. Instead of realising, most of the time I'm a nice person, but this time I was an asshole. Or I was really cruel, or I was rude, or I was bullying, or I was unfair. Again, don't have to lock yourself in jail over it, but you do have to accept it. You do have to see it, and you do have to accept it, because other people have seen it. You've been that way around other people, and when you don't acknowledge it, one, it's bloody rude. Two, you look like an idiot, because they plainly see whatever it was you were doing. And then, and like I know I've known people, like I said, that are one way, and then they do this other thing. But the whole time they're thinking they're so righteous. Oh, but I'm such a good person. I wouldn't hurt anyone. I wouldn't do that. Well, bullshit. Absolute bullshit, because we do. We all slip in and out. We've all had good days, bad days, worse days, and then even worse days. But in being responsible for everything in your life as an adult, I do the same. They are another you. I should read these when I'm talking, but I usually just look at the camera because I'm talking to you. So when you see others with this behaviour, children do it too, it's really good to teach them, hey, did you see what you just did then? Did you see how you were just then with that person or that situation or whatever? You don't have to chastise them, because this is just imagine that we're actors and we have so many roles that we can play. We have masks and wigs and all manner of props to uphold who we're going to be, all right? It's not a bad thing, but who do you want to be? What are the qualities that you want to be seen as having? Who do you want to be seen as, would be my question. So you can't go, I want to be seen as helpful and caring, because that's just paying lip service. But then you go off and you're an ass to your neighbour, or you ignore some old person that just needed, 2 minutes of your help, or I don't know. There's lots of situations. We all know them. We're all human. We live on planet Earth. And like I say, we're not that different from each other. There's not that much difference. All right. Here's one thing, the physicality of difference, right? Did you know I can fit in this hand in the size of a golf ball, a bit bigger, a golf ball and a bit smaller. I can fit in my one hand the differences between every single human. Okay, one, I take your hair, put that there. I take your skin, which actually goes down to, so I learnt, the size of like a golf ball. So it's very small. So take your eyes, the iris, take that out because the colour and that identifies you. And genitalia would be, you know, if you take your skin off. So in this very small palm of my hand, I can hold what makes everybody different. Because if you peel all those things off everybody looks the same. You can't tell the difference. Height and weight is the only thing you're going to be able to tell the difference by. Yet we have so much conflict on the planet over what? Something that I can hold in my hand, something this big. How stupid does that make us look? Really? Anyway, back to what I was saying. So when you feel yourself being that someone different, or that being naff with somebody, you may need to go and apologise, and you may need to, you know, make good if you've done something really naff or nasty. But however, the most part is just simply realising that, yes, you do and can be not a nice person, but because for the majority of the time you are, that's great. But it doesn't negate the time that you weren't. And you have to be responsible for that. And you have to know that you do these things, it's not the worst in the world, but you must be ready for it, accept responsibility. So that what happens is, as you're moving in and out of these phases, in being responsible for those actions, most times you actually stop doing it. You stop being that way because you're looking at it. It's like anything. Dr. Phil was the first time I saw this. Someone he interviewed, I really can't remember who it was, but they were carrying on like an idiot and I don't know who it was, maybe a guy. And they came back on the show and said that it really struck home with them when they went home and they watched themselves on television and thought, oh my God, what a wanker, or what a whatever. Another example, I had a friend, people across the road, this guy used to scream at his children. He was a single father. I mean, scream. Hours. Oh, yeah, get out of it. She recorded him and put the CD in his letterbox and just, I think she said, this is from one of your neighbours. So he then could listen to the screaming and the carrying on and the whole lot, because you tend not to when you're talking. You don't think about it. It's just coming out. You know, it reverberates in your head and that's it. So the screaming actually slowed right down after that. So in knowing that you're doing something, it actually brings you to bear upon that action, and then you choose, well, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that way. I don't like being seen being that way. So anyway, back down. 18 minutes! One day I'll actually do a 3-minute video. That I always thought these live videos would just be 3 minutes. However, it seems to be the topics that I want to talk about, you can't cram them into little 3 minutes. They take a little bit more, because I find examples are really good, or examples or analogies, so people can understand the gist of something easier. So then it takes a little while to portray, you know, get it out, speak it. Hi, Annie. So that's my chat for Monday. Have a think about it and notice. You'll notice now, you'll notice when other people do it, especially people you're around all the time, family, workmates, friends, that sort of thing. You actually now start to notice. It's like if you buy a blue car, you then start noticing every other blue car like yours, right? Whereas before you never noticed it, right? Same goes for this. But if we are to become a better society and a happier planet, then it's going to require that each person become responsible for what they say, what they do, and who they are, all right? Because you can't get about on this planet and have no footprint anywhere. It's if you lived under a bridge and never spoke to anyone, I guess, you know, you're very limited. But it's about being responsible for our actions and becoming the person that we want to be. There's nothing holding us back but these limiting beliefs and bad habits that we have that keep us in limiting patterns or routines that just don't benefit us. So go off and notice all of these things now And stretch, require more of yourself. Where if you notice that when you get stressed, you tend to lose your patience or whatever, then understand stress is the issue here, not the lashing out. So do something about the stress and you'll find that those actions start to slow down and you don't continue that way. So thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. And hopefully soon I will have my Lalaville show happening. It's going to be, at the moment, just interviews with women, everyday women who've done really fantastic things or have done just average things. Do you know, I think each one of us wants to see other people just like ourselves, being themselves and not having to be this straight, oh, I better not say that, better not do that, better blah, 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 blah. So it will be in the format where I'm just going to interview someone. I have 4 basic questions I'll ask them. And that's as far as I've gotten. So not being a TV presenter or a producer or anything like that, it's a little slower for me to get all of this together, but it is happening. So, and all my videos go across to my YouTube channel, which you'll see the address is in the description box. And if you like the videos, please share them. That would be really cool. So until Wednesday, when I'll see you all again at my new time slot of around 2 p.m. Brisbane time. A bit earlier didn't seem to work, so this 2 o'clock one is much better. Alrighty, everybody, been lovely chatting. If you have a topic you want to talk about, I'm all up for that too. That would be great. But otherwise, here we go. I'm going to say goodbye for now. Take care. Have a really wonderful Monday. Have a great week ahead. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to everybody else. And I look forward to seeing you later. Bye now.